ये पूछे घर दिल कशी के, ये पूछे ये नीलाम घर दिल कशी के, ये लुटते हुए कारवां जिंदगी के। कहाँ है मुहाफिज खुदी के, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है। ये पुरपेच गलियां, ये बदनाम बाजार, ये गुमनाम राही, ये सिक्कों की झनकार, ये इस्मत के सौदे, ये सौदों पे तकरार, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है। ये सदियों से बेख्वाब सहमी सी गलियां, ये मसली हुई अध खिली जर्द कलियां, ये बिकती हुई खोखली रंग रलियां, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है। उजले दरीचों में पायल की छन छन, थकी हारी सांसों पे तबले की धन धन। वो उजले दरीचों में पायल की छन छन, थकी हारी सांसों पे तबले की धन धन। ये बेरूह कमरों में खांसी की ठन ठन, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है। ये फूलों के गजरे, ये पीकों के छींटे, ये बेबाक नजरें, ये गुस्ताख फिक्रे, ये ढल के बदन और ये बीमार चेहरे, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है। यहाँ पीर भी आ चुके हैं, जवां भी, तनोमंद बेटे भी, अब्बा मियाँ भी, ये बीवी भी है, ये बीवी भी है और बहन भी है, माँ भी, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है। मदद चाहती है ये हवा की बेटी, यशोदा की हम जिन्स राधा की बेटी। मदद चाहती है ये हवा की बेटी, यशोदा की हम जिन्स राधा की बेटी। पैगंबर की उम्मत जुलेखा की बेटी, जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है, कहाँ है।
Anyone who sees this, and it's a long time.
Amazing.
It is, and it's your close-up idea and your Russian kind of Eisenstein impact. With it came with that force, and I have not seen a better song in which that foreground and background in.
I mean, the way the camera is, it's. I would not. It's not even tracking in a real sense. It's a chasing. It's a kind of a following camera, and the way he is putting the focus in and out, what is known as the fellow focus, and what absolutely stuns me is that here is a man who has come from Tripura, who doesn't understand the genre of Nazam melody, who doesn't understand the ghazals, and he is creating a parallel within the literature, which is Urdu Nazam literature, in a melody which doesn't exist within that field. And I mean, there are so many things happening. When I see, for instance, Guru Dutt in close-up, he keeps coming into close-up and going out. And you don't get a feel of, the jerky cut. So you get the feel as if it's a continuous thing, because it's a street. And उनकी जो गायकी के अंदर ना हल्की सी मींड देखिए, आखिर में जो मींड कर रहा है, oof, it is. I'm immediately reminded of Carl Dreyer's, that Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
The close-up. I mean, क्या कर रहा है बंदा? What is he doing?
It's great in cinema. Ravi?
Yeah. Wonderful time when you could critique the nation, and critique the nation by keeping the woman, and it's not any woman. It's a woman who is in sex trade. So there's a lot of discussion in the Gandhian era, just before independence, around the moral hygiene of society. So and this is the woman, this woman, fallen woman, etc. She's very much at the center of it. Manto is writing beautifully about these women. If you remember Moselle, if you remember other characters. So it's in that context that we need to read this. And of course, it's Sahir, right? Sahir Ludhianvi, who always kept women up front in his literature, apart from other, working people. So it's Sahir Ludhianvi, his pen, talking to those who promised great land and a great freedom to us. So where are they? See, exactly. Yeah. Chakle. Yeah.
The original Mukhada was, or the Asthai was not Jinhe Naaz hai Hind par. It is Sana Khwane Takdi se Mashriq kahan hai.
Exactly.
It was a comment on the Western life.
So and so it's also trying to bring the nation and religion in the same axis. The woman is being given a higher kind of place. She belongs right there. She is the most pious person you can have. Zulekha ki beti and stuff like that, Radha. So that parallel from mythology of all kinds, of all religions, he's putting her right there. And then Khansi ki Than, what a wonderful expression, So it's poetry at its best. It's critique, social critique, political critique at its best. And as Ambarish and I were talking, there's a percussion which is very subtle, right? But every few moments it comes.
No, but
it raises impact. Yeah.
This is just great cinema.
Of course.
All the reading, the manner by which he puts this, it's not even staccato. It's just something which is on a very different rhythm. And
this is just one little thing. Now, this is a little story, and I don't validate it. But the myth is that when Mohammed Rafi said, "Ye biwi bhi hai," and he repeats that phrase. And the story is that he was not able to complete the sentence after that. He was so moved by the whole thing, and that he could not. I don't know to what extent this is sort of verifiable, but this is what I heard. I mean, and then the whole thing is like a, this is happening in a street.
Yep.
So there are no this thing. हालांकि जिन्हें नाज है हिंद पर वो कहाँ है is the mukhra, but no, the whole idea of the mukhra and stanza is gone. It's flowing like this through the street. Of course, there are various
those bridges,
signposts.
those bridges that you talk of.
Yeah.
The first bridge, when he jumps to the two children, and that rhythm, it just is so unique. Very few have ever repeated it in later
सारी रात
years.
निकल जाएगी इस गाने पे बात करने. So
Juhi, your thoughts, please.
I watch Pyaasa every 6 months or so. And throughout the film, Mohammed Rafi has sung, SD has made him sing so softly. It's as if Guru Dutt's way of speaking in Pyaasa, very almost जिसको बुद बुद आते हुए कहते हैं, very, very softly, speaking to himself. And Rafi's singing seems to be kind of in continuation with that kind of style of speaking, and that very minimalist musical arrangement behind most of the songs. Plus, there are so many verses he has sung which have no orchestration at all. Is really remarkable. One, I just wanted to share with you that I saw Pyaasa on a big screen some years back when it had become temporarily mandatory to play national anthem before. So I was in a PVR, the national anthem played, people stood, Pyaasa started, and then this song came. And it occurred to me how very specifically I could relate to this song as a kind of counter anthem. So, your national anthem is talking of these expansive, vast spaces, Vindhya, Himachal, Yamuna, Ganga, and here you have Kuche, you have Neelam Ghar, you have Sehmi Si Galiyan. So many, there are specific geographies here, not just a generic thing. And the anthem, national anthem is what? It's rich with Jai and Mangal and Ashish. There is auspiciousness and blessings and triumph. Whereas here you have, Khansi ki than than, as he says. There is lutte hue karwan. There's actually so many things which are it appears to me as if somebody thought of this and wrote. This is specific out about.
All the patriotism of the anthem. That's the beauty of it. Even though there is a deep potential cynicism, but I never ever thought he was anything but an idealist, even till his end. But idealism faces that reality check.
Who do you mean, Guru Dutt or Sahir?
Guru Dutt. And I know that Sahir's words are there, but like Raj Kapoor, Guru Dutt would never make it unless it was rooted in his own psyche and thought. No, it's okay. So you're absolutely right as a counter anthem, but like the counter of an inner voice. It's the counter that, I'm still part of that world and I see it falling apart. I see it not fulfilling its potential. I see all the expectations being dashed, but somewhere I will still keep some part of my hope and longing alive. So and he did give up, as we all know, but anyway, that's one thing.
The melodic trauma has continued.
Ironical, it's quite ironical also. Not cynical exactly, but ironical. Recall of the nation and its greatness.
Yeah. No, there's
What
many
I'm
words
saying
to
is,
be.
With the melodic trauma, it's continued. You just look at Rabbi's Jinhe Naaz Hai Hind par Woh Kahan Hain. So, this is how things actually continue. This is the kind of shadow which is both inspiring and also very sad. So they continue to sort of chase you, you know. And it's, when I was looking at that song, Ramaya Vastavaya, I was also reminded of another song by Nayara Noor's son, which is currently very popular, Fast Lane. There is some bridge, you know, there also. So, you know, these bridges are also very important, how these songs will live. And how these, I mean,
Well, look, I fully agree.
Sorry.
No, Baba, I just wanted to make this point because it's a very important point for India studies. That I really feel that those who truly feel the pulse, rhythm, energy of India in the abstract, in the common, have this great ability to balance the deepest of pains, the deepest of expectations, see both of them shatter and still keep alive the hope that both of them are not going to shatter. And the only way, when you surrender to that, where you don't have to place a judgment, where you don't need a resolution, is when you actually do come to grips with certain answers about larger questions, not just about India, but yourself. So, to that point, I just wanted to raise that question. Antara, your take on this great song?
Actually, Guru Dutt, each frame has layers of meaning to it. Even in this song, as we have discussed, as Madanji said, the camera is following. So Burman Dada knew that the poetry here is the hero of the song. So he makes just the violins follow the voice. And there's this big drum, like Jinhe Naaz hai Hind par. You're talking about the country. So there's a very faint big drum. Boom, boom, it comes. That is the only percussion that you hear throughout the song, practically. Unless for the rhythm instruments, there was khansi ki thantan, there's the tabla and the ghungru and all. And then, as you have got into that mood of that very, kind of slow rhythm, and suddenly, at around, I was discussing this with a friend yesterday, and at 3 minutes 54 seconds, that girl is being pulled into that brothel, and there's a Hawaiian guitar, and it just takes on a different kind of a crescendo. And what happens? The man, the customer, who is waiting for that girl to be pulled in, he covers the lens completely.
Absolutely.
And he has a striped coat. So, Guru Dutt, known for his penchant for symbols, is it a prison that he is symbolizing? I don't know. Might be. Yeah. Because that entire coat covers the lens completely for almost like a second. So she is being pulled in and she's gone for good.
There's symbolism in
so many ways. I mean, that song is kind of replete with that. And again, Guru Dutt takes on that, I would say, he had a sense of purpose, that I want to talk about what is happening with my world and I'm not happy with certain things and I want to talk about them in my cinema. And this is perhaps one of the best examples of how he wanted to put his point across through the poetry of Sahir, taking it on, and Dada Burman doing full justice, Rafi lowering his pitch to have that, as you pointed out, to match that pitch of Guru Dutt's very soft voice. So everything is so perfect in the scene, and yet that imperfection of what is happening with our world is so stunning that it hits you and it doesn't let you sleep. That is what I feel.
Indeed.